I wanted to do a short, quick tutorial about the basics of Quiz Bowl for some of you that may be a little rusty or that have never gotten to do a moderator, judge, or timekeeper job before. I wanted to condense the rules a little bit and make it simpler for you to understand the basics of Quiz Bowl. When a team or teams compete, they have 6 on the roster with a minimum of 3. If they have less than 3, only 2, they are disqualified. There are always 5 players that are competing for each round with 1 alternate sitting out. The team captain will always have the placard or name tent in front of them. No hats may be worn during competition. The use of electronic devices are prohibited by players and coaches. Therefore, they cannot have any smartwatches, phones. All cell phones and devices must be turned off. Any interruption, so if a phone rings, it can result in a disqualification of the team. Typically at the junior high level, we give them a warning and make certain that everything is turned off. We will always provide new paper, pencils during each round. There's always going to be a buzzer check for each round at the beginning. And if you were competing at the high school level, there may be visuals on 11 by 17 white poster paper, but we typically do not have that at the junior high level. When a team buzzes in and they get the answer correct, they receive 10 points. Even if they interrupt, it's still 10 points. If an interruption does occur and the team is incorrect, they will lose 5 points from their score. The moderator will reread the entire question for the second team. If the second team interrupts, they do not lose 5 points. That's on page 9 in the rule book, if there's any questions about that. Teams will have 10 seconds from the time that the question is finished. All exceptions will be noted with an extended time. So typically math questions may have longer time, or a few science questions may have a longer time limit for them to buzz in. And please tell them what time they are having allotted. So for example, this is a math question. It's a 30-second question. If an incorrect answer is given, the second team will have the remaining time plus 5 seconds. So take, for example, team 1 buzzes in and there was 5 seconds left on the timer. The second team then has those 5 remaining seconds plus an additional 5 seconds to answer. If an interruption is answered incorrectly, the second team has 10 seconds to answer. Time for second team begins when the moderator announces an answer is incorrect. A team may buzz in any time and they must be recognized. So you would say Mineola number 2. That is recognizing that team. Or you can also say red number 2. If a player isn't recognized, the moderator must state, "I cannot accept that answer." And then the other team has the opportunity to buzz in. If a player hesitates to answer, the moderator will request an answer after 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, you would then still say, "I cannot accept that answer." Team members may consult verbally and in writing until their team buzzes in. If the consultation or talking continues, the answer is accepted as incorrect, and you would say, "I cannot accept that answer." The other team still may continue to consult until they buzz in. The first answer given is the one taken. All answers must be given in English, and mispronunciations are acceptable according to the judge's ruling. If a moderator misreads a question and discovers it before any team buzzes in, they may stop and reread the question in its entirety. If it is misread and gives a disadvantage, a replacement must be used. If the question is found in error, a replacement must be used. So if there is an incorrect answer or the question is stated incorrectly, you would replace it with one of the replacement questions. If the answer is revealed prematurely before the second team can answer, the second team only receives a replacement question. Only a team captain may raise an inquiry or protest, but must do it before the next question. Coaches may not speak to an inquiry or protest during the round. Coaches have a right to question a procedure after a round. When a challenge is made concurring a question, the head judge in the room will write out the challenge and read it back to the teams. All play is suspended and the challenge is taken to the tally room for a ruling to be made. The runner or the scorekeeper will then bring back that challenge with the answer, and then play commences upon final decision. A correct answer is worth 10 points. An incorrect with interruption is the loss of 5 points, and there are 16 questions per round. If there is a tie at the end of the round, a tiebreaker question will be given. Moderators will blindly select a topic from the envelope in your binder, and you will use the replacement question from that category. Each round has its own set of replacement questions. Play will continue until the first team answers correctly. These are the rules for the moderator. Moderators must use a good speaking voice with accurate pronunciation while exuding a positive attitude. Review the questions prior to the competition. Allow for testing of buzzers before each match. Read basic rules before the first round. Be prepared to stop when interrupted. State when points are deducted. So if they interrupted, you would turn to the scorekeeper and say, that is a -5, or that is a deduction of 5 points. Reread questions when necessary. State the category from which questions will come. So for example, the first category is social science. Always state the correct answer. If an incorrect answer is given, say, I cannot accept that answer, instead of that is incorrect. Ask the judge for a decision if the answer varies. Announce the final score. Judges, your job is to be the official. You will judge if you have to make a ruling for a correct or incorrect answer. Review the questions before the competition begins. Review the rules of play. Act impartially. Rule on all appeals at the time they are filed by captains or coaches. Monitor the crowd behavior. So if there becomes too much talking, please give them a warning. Say, please be quiet, or give them a verbal warning about being too loud. Be consistent in degree of strictness. For instance, mispronunciation of names. Keep track of tiebreaker or replacement questions that have been used on the official scorecard. Timers. The timers start the clock immediately upon the moderator completing the question. Be a responsible student or adult. Reset the clock only when a question has been completed. Stop play if there is a problem with the timing mechanism. 10 seconds to answer the question. My suggestion is that you use the timer on your clock and you use the stopwatch moving up. Time begins when the moderator has finished the question. Listen carefully for time limit changes. The timer stops when the buzzer first sounds, or when the time has stopped on your stopwatch. If the first team interrupts and gives an incorrect answer, the other team gets 10 seconds to answer. If the first team gives an incorrect answer, the other team has the remaining time plus 5 seconds. Official scorekeeper. Make official announcement of the final score at the end of each round. Carefully study scoring rules from the rules of play. Use the provided score sheets. Check the accuracy of the visible score as the match proceeds. Pay close attention to the deduction of points. Stop play immediately if there is any question concerning the score. Lastly, make certain that you have put the room, round, and team names at the top of your score page. So when it's brought to the official score table, we know exactly what room and what round it was from. Now the official room scorekeeper. Be a responsible student or adult, keep an accurate running score on the board, and maintain a visible score for each team in the round. If you have further questions, I will review a lot of these things with you at the meeting before the Quiz Bowl meet. I would like to meet at around 3:30 to 3:40 to go over these rules with you before we start competition at 4.